Welcome, race fans, back to the TK Racing Diecast Late Model Tour here on Grease Vision. Logan will be joining us shortly up in the broadcast booth, but my name's Nathan Mon, and I will be your host tonight for the penultimate race of the 2024A season here at Stafford. As we take a look here at some of the track facts tonight, Stafford Motor Speedway up in Connecticut opened in 1870 with a capacity of 10,000. Originally named Stafford Springs Agricultural Park, where it held horse races until the end of World War II. It then became a dirt NASCAR track in 1959 and was then paved in 1967, which is what you see here today. Banking around this place, turns 1 and 2 is 9 degrees, turns 3 and 4 only 7.5 degrees, so a little bit flatter on the backside of the track. Definitely a lot flatter than tracks we've seen so far this season, so this might be our third flat track in a row, or flatter track in a row, but as you've seen the past few weeks, definitely some good close racing, difficult to pass, difficult to get a lead is out there as well. So hopefully we are in for another night of close racing here at Stafford. As we take a look at the race analysis, we are here for the Maconi Setup Shop 100. So we are here for 100 laps, which will be 50 miles. The pit speed is 45 miles per hour, so these drivers will have to definitely lock it down. Getting into the pits, I believe the pit entry here is also pretty challenging and tight to get into, as we see with most short tracks. For the pit strategy, it's kind of an unknown here. Do have one extra set of tires. Not sure on fuel though, I think is the key there with the question mark next to the pit strategy. Just not sure on if these guys can make it, if they're going to have to one stop it, kind of what the strategy is there. We will have to see if they can figure it out. We'll find out. The track record here at Stafford is held by Doug Kobe in the SK Modified with a 17.896 second lap, which broke Ryan Preece's record. So if you're familiar with NASCAR Cup Series, Ryan Preece, driver for Stewart-Haas, previously held the record. He is from the Connecticut area, so definitely his home track when he was getting started. As we take a look here at our schedule, so like I said, this is our penultimate race here at Stafford. Next week will be the season finale for the 2024A season at North Wilkesboro. So coming back to the southeast to close out the season. Looking at the standings, nothing is set yet. Seems like what I've gathered from the league admins and everything I was asking about, is anybody mathematically locked into a position? Can we go ahead and put their name in yellow or something, to show that they're locked in? The answer to that question was no. There's still a lot of spots up for grabs here, even with only 2 races left. Drew Wooten is out to a 45-point lead, and I do believe after this race he can lock it up, but not before the race. He cannot lock it up. Davis Warren trails him in P2 of the championship, 45 points. Travis Ellington in third, 60 points. Dennis Wilder Jr., 88 points back. Braden Campbell, 98 points back. Nick Gowen, who will be back tonight after missing a few weeks, 102 points back. Chad McLeod, 123 points back. Matt Grimm, the Grim Reaper, 186 points back. Nicholas Priest, 196 points back. And Eli Lewis, 259 points back. So for guys like Eli, obviously the championship race is over and done with for them. So really just a 2-horse race from now to the end of the season. Going to be between Drew Wooten and league owner Davis Warren. I believe what I gathered from Davis pre-race is that he had looked at some of the math, and if Drew is able to tie with him in points tonight or better, Drew will lock up the championship after this race. But if Davis is able to take back a couple more points, as he's done over the past few weeks, Davis is not quite out of it yet. We will see a championship battle next week where Davis is going to really have to have an excellent run, and Drew is going to have to absolutely, crash out, wreck out, no show something for Davis to make it happen. But it looks like we have Logan here in the booth. Not sure if he's back yet. Let me get him in here. All right, Logan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. As soon as you could get that stream up for me.
Oh, yes, we'll do.
I'm trying to load mine as well, but
Yeah. This one might be just a touch behind, just FYI.
yeah.
Hopefully that helps with the kind of the issues with the scoring and everything. But let me get that up for you. And
There we go.
yeah, so we're here tonight at Stafford in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. Looks like these drivers have about, it should be only a few minutes left to practice here. Maybe 2 to 3 minutes left, so go on board and kind of see what some of these guys are running. We got Mike McConville here, one of our winners so far this season. So far looking pretty strong in the practice standings, currently P2. Also have Jacob York, haven't seen him in a while. I think the last time he raced I was out of town, so good to see him back in the series. He's currently on top of the boards in practice.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see. He's really fast as always, just super aggressive. So, be interesting to see how this one's. I don't know. When you were out of town that one time, I'm pretty sure there was some beef between a few, him and some other drivers. So that'll be interesting. I just realized I don't even have Stafford, so I'll be watching your screen all night.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it looks like you said, I think there was some drama between Jacob York and I think it's actually Philip York is how he goes by. So Philip York and our championship leader Drew Wooten. So could see some what do you call them, Logan? Playoff implications tonight, something like that. If you take a look here, we got the Grim Reaper out here tonight.
There's my driver right there.
Currently in P5, pretty solid lap so far. Also got Nicky G, as I said, making his return. Been away for a few weeks, but Nicky Dallas in that 8 car is back on track tonight. Hopefully he can join us next week as well. We'll just have to see. But
Nicky G or G for short.
Yes, that's right. Last season's champion is back on track tonight. We got your favorite car. Travis Ellington in the Twisted T. 59.
Yes,
he does have a race win this season, hoping to make it 2 by the end of the season. But man, that car just it really serves the Twisted T brand justice from what we've seen so far this season.
Yeah, that thing looks almost as good as that scheme that Kyle Larson revealed today for the Darlington throwback. I mean,
absolutely
doesn't get much better than that.
I know. It's those two are definitely, from this series of Travis Ellington, it's brought the Twisted T scheme new revamped respect in my eyes, and then of course with Larson running the Labonte throwback at Darlington this year. Man, that's gonna be got to do it for Turry. Be a good old time. Looks like these guys are going to start qualifying. Travis Ellington gonna be the first one out on track.
Yeah,
it looks like
not wasting any time.
Wasted no time. Looks like a lot of these guys aren't wasting time. I'm seeing Braden Campbell, Grim Reaper, Davis Warren, Philip York, all out on track. So wasting absolutely no time getting out on track. Let's see what kind of laps they can throw down. We'll bring up the ticker as well.
There we go.
See if we can see these lap times. I know it's kind of finicky during qualifying because we kind of key in on each driver, so it's not the greatest.
I've never really seen this track. This track kind of reminds me of like a micro New Hampshire, the way it looks.
Yeah, it's very flat. I was saying this is our third week in a row with a pretty flat track. Matt Grimm so far, Grim Reaper to the top of the boards.
That's my dude.
That's that dude right there. Matt Grimm. We got league owner Davis Warren in second now. Quickly taken away though by 33 of Braden Campbell, but Drew Wooten only throws down 1 lap. He says that's all I need, I guess. 2/10 clear of the field right now. I mean, that's at a track this size. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's definitely impressive. I don't know if anybody can touch that, but hey, what about last week's winner? Mr. Dennis Wilder Jr., is he going to lay down lap?
I don't see him in the session. I don't know if he is able to make it tonight. We were talking with him last week, hoping to make it, 2 in a row possibly for him, but not looking like he's in the session as of yet. Of course, still has time during qualifying to join, but so far, not seeing him in here. Looks like we've got 8 cars for tonight, so a little bit of a smaller field here as we round out the season, but yeah, it's like York puts down a lap. Philip York, currently P5. Let's see, it looks like that was just his first one. Still 2 to go. Logan, there's 3 laps for qualifying. Just want to get it in your head.
Anyways.
Anyways, I digest. So it looks like Philip York is going to go to P2 and slams the wall after finishing the lap. That's
I think he's been drinking some Twisted Teas.
Yeah, he may have gotten into Ellington's stash or something. I'm not sure. I'll take a look here at Mike.
Check my trunk.
Yeah, he's wow, Philip York. I mean, I've always heard, you take care of the car take care of you. Well, that's one way not to take care of the car. Just slamming it into the turn 1 wall. Mike Conville, Greasecar winner. He's currently in P3, not quite able to improve on his lap. We have only car left to qualify is Nick Gowen, last season's champion, looking to get a couple more wins here in this season before it finishes up.
On that Dale Jr. throwback scheme there. The whole Dale Jr. number 8 on the side. Let's see where he gets here. P5 on the first lap.
Yeah, P5 on lap number 1. I was going to say, for those of you that don't know, Nick Gowen actually painted that scheme himself. He is very avid about being as accurate as possible as he moves up to P4. I think that's going to be the end of his qualifying effort. May have just not got the best run out of 4, decided to bail on lap number 3. But yeah, Nick Gowen very particular about his paint schemes. So the 8 car you've seen likely for most of the season, painted by himself, which is pretty impressive, honestly. It's
yeah, we're talking about millimeters. He wants logos and stuff to be correct. When mine, it's a 50-footer. It looks good from 50 feet.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've seen him in the lab just cooking, and he, man, it's quite a process he goes through. I mean, it's 1 tap left, 1 tap right, like you said, Logan, with the logo. I mean, he'll do that for hours trying to get it.
He probably spent 3 days on that paint scheme alone.
You're probably not wrong. It's that crazy, but looks like qualifying has wrapped up, so we will go ahead and get the starting lineup here for, I believe, only the 1 heat tonight, but let's pull up the lineup here. So Drew Wooten going to take the Castle QuickTime Award tonight, followed by Jacob York in 2nd, Mike Continville in 3rd, Nick Gowen in 4th, Matt Grimm, the Grim Reaper in 5th, Braden Campbell in 6th, Davis Warren in 7th, and Twisted T Travis Ellington in 8th.
Absolutely. We're going to get this Kicking the Tires heat race started off. Kicking the Tires is a pretty cool company. I like watching a lot of their interviews in the Cup Series and stuff. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. They do a lot of the deep cut interviews with the drivers, and they get more of the grit from them and not so much the, how do you say it, PR represented interviews from like Fox or NBC.
Yeah, Kicking the Tires definitely gets in there and gets the, really the deep scoop, I would say, right? Like they get in there and get the real stuff and not just the robotic stuff that I get a little tired of every week.
Yeah.
Some of these drivers, but these cars.
Fast car, the crew worked hard.
What's that?
Fast car and the crew worked hard.
Yeah, exactly. And thanks to all the sponsors, right? That's the 3 keys to.
And if you're an Xfinity driver, the car's always as fast as Xfinity 10G Energy.
Every time, it's crazy. So these guys are going to get gridded up here. I think we did have Drew Wooten drop back, and then I think we also had an invert here after the qualifying. So invert top. I think we actually inverted the field. Is what it looks like almost. I don't know. Some weird things going on right now. Just because I know that Philip York and Drew
I think
Wooten
it
were at the
was
front, but now they're at
invert
the back.
6.
Okay,
Yeah,
invert 6 would make sense. And I think Philip York takes he's going to take Neowell at the start of this heat race.
How far Nick going? He shouldn't have turned that second lap. He could have just started on the pole for this heat race. We're about to go under green here.
Here we go. Grim Reaper going to lead us to the green flag. And green flag is out.
Blink, 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 blink.
Blink, 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 blink. Nick going with a huge run on the outside there. Matt Grimm going to close it off as they go into 1.
Oh, he takes a really shallow exit off of 2 there.
Definitely sacrificing a lot of speed there.
Yeah, and I think it's just trying to be respectful of Nicholas Gone. He's trying to give him plenty of room. It looks like this is definitely going to be a bottom feeder race. I don't think you're going to be able to make it happen on the outside as flat as this track is.
We do see Drew Wooten up 2 spots from lap number 1 as he's looking to make a move here on Nicholas Goen for P2. Philip York not too far behind him, maybe looking to make a 2-for-1 here whenever Drew can get underneath somebody.
As I see Drew Wooten starting to get by Nicholas Goen's door. Doesn't quite make it happen this time. Probably going to give him a little bumper here. Oh, Philip York into Drew Wooten, it looks like, coming off of turn 4.
Philip York not wasting any time. You talked about how aggressive he normally is. Hasn't changed so far tonight. Able to get the inside of Drew Wooten. Drew a little squirrely off the corner. Gonna open the door for Philip York. Philip sends it underneath Nick Goen. Looks like he's going to be able to complete that pass for 3rd.
Yeah, Philip York a little loose coming off 4 there. Drew Wooten goes back to the bottom, trying to take that spot back for Philip York. I know Nicholas Goen is loving to see this in his mirror. He wants to get to that leader before they get to him.
Absolutely. Drew Wooten now with a huge run out too, trying to make a move here on Nick Goen. Takes the inside. Nick gonna try to wrap around the outside. Not gonna be quite clear of Drew though, so that gives Drew another shot. He's going to 1. Nick Goen a little bit up the track. Gonna open the door for Philip York as well. Philip York to the inside of Nick Goen now as he drops back to P3, and Philip York probably gonna try to clear Nick. Looks like York was a little loose in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, I can't get back to the throttle on that apron, and the car's just unloaded, not set up to run on a flat surface, you know. Nicholas Goen gonna probably try to cross him over here if I had to imagine. No, it doesn't do it. So we got Drew Wooten going for the lead.
So they're gonna battle for the lead. Drew Wooten to the inside of Matt Grimm. Coming to the white flag here. Last lap of the heat race. Drew Wooten looking to take the heat win away from Matt Grimm. Drew Wooten able to clear Matt Grimm off of turn 2. Philip York fighting now for 2nd with Matt Grimm. Looks like Drew Wooten has this heat race 1. Philip York able to clear Matt Grimm off of turn 4 to take home 2nd. Matt Grimm ends the heat race 3rd. Limited contact. Whoa!
Oh no!
Whoa! Limited contact after the checker there. Yeah.
That's gonna be an interesting. I know Davis Warren is loving to see this. He wants that 97 wreck Drew Wooten.
Yeah, we talked about some of the drama that happened over the past week or so, or the past few weeks between Philip York and Drew Wooten. I believe at one of the races that wasn't able to broadcast, Drew Wooten Philip York got into Drew Wooten and took him out on the last lap, which actually handed the race win to Travis Ellington in the 59. So interesting to kind of see Drew showing the displeasure there after winning the heat race. Don't know if that's the right time to do it, but it was Drew Wooten's time to do it, I guess.
Yeah, we just got to give these guys a hand for how fast they can fix these cars in between sessions. I mean, it's just astonishing how fast they can put these cars back together.
It's instant, man. It's honestly insane. I mean, you see 2 torn up race cars in turn 1, and you blink and they're on the front stretch perfectly clean again. I mean, I don't get it.
Not sure what's going on here. I don't know if maybe York got into the back of Drew before the camera switched. I'm not sure, but he's going to the back and Drew's staying up front.
Yeah, not sure. Pace car is still on this time. Should be going green next time by. But yeah, I mean, it looked like Drew was kind of the instigator on that wreck we saw there at the end of the heat. But Philip York going to be the one that drops to the rear, try to do a back to front challenge here in this 100-lap feature race.
Absolutely. And so we got McConneville and is it Michael? Mike?
Yeah, Mike McConville is going to take up Philip York's spot there on the front row next to Drew Wooten. Pace car is off. Looks like we're going to go back green here, and we are back green. Drew Wooten with a good jump on the start of the race. And Matt Grimm going to try to slide into P2 off the initial jump. Mike McConville gets a little loose there in turn 2. Going to open the door for Matt Grimm.
Yeah, Matt Grimm fighting his way back to the front. He says, I want to get a piece of that leader there. Needs to be careful not to burn up those tires. I see Travis Ellington. Oh, no, the 97 at the back of the 8 car of Nicholas Goen.
Nicholas Goen drops all the way to the back here. It looked like York just
a
little...
97.
97 has... I think 97's gone. I think Philip York is gone here.
Yeah.
But it does look like Matt Grimm able to get back around Drew Wooten for the win. Or not for the win, for the lead.
I think we still got 97 laps to go.
We got a while to go in this thing, but they're side by side going into one. Drew with the inside lane. But Matt Grimm going to try to wrap the top. Oh, gets a little loose out of the corner. Had a really good run, though. I think maybe that might be a somewhat strategy. Maybe not to use every time, but something to use every once in a while, just to get a better run than the guy on the inside down the front stretch or back stretch.
It looks like Mike is going to be trying to take this over. Oh, these slides coming off of turn 2. Things look like they're a blast to drive here.
Yeah, they do. It looks like they, not as just hold it wide open as we've seen at some tracks. Definitely easy to break the rear tires loose, get a little loose off the corner. Always a blast in any car. Looks like kind of going single file right now. One strategy I'm interested in, these two are in the back here. We got Davis Warren, we got Nick Goen. I mean, Logan, how many times have we said this? These two, as I say that, it gets in the wall, but how many times have I said this? These two are masters of tire saving. We've seen them drive up through the field multiple times in Greasecar history. I think especially with Nick having issues there with Philip York in the opening laps, I think that really made his mind up of how he's going to approach this race. And that's going to be hang back, see if he can make the tires last as long as possible. And I mean, the fuel was a question on this one. I don't know if they have enough fuel to make it all 100 laps. So if he can save enough of both, I think that definitely is could be worth more than a pit stop.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, even if it's questionable on fuel and he can save enough fuel to not pit, I mean, that could be huge right there, you know. Because if you pit in one of these things, I mean, even for fuel, it's going to take quite some time. So, I mean, he could make up a lot of ground just in a splash and go for somebody else. So, I'll be interested to see.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like right now, Nick Goen currently about 4 seconds off of our leader, Drew Wooten. So dropping a little bit, seems to be dropping more and more per lap. But, you know, his hope is that that time starts to turn back in his favor. But these top two are staying pretty close to each other. It doesn't look like Drew Wooten's able to quite run away from Matt Grimm just yet. Look through the rest of the field. Mike McConville has settled into P3 for now. Braden Campbell behind him in 4th. And then we have Davis Warren. Travis Ellington does drop back into the clutches of Davis Warren. Drops back to P6. And Nicholas going back here in P7.
And Philip York like teleported. I don't know where he went to that.
Yeah, Philip York, I think he was trying to figure out a way to jump the grandstands from the backstretch or something. Some evil Knievel stunt, I guess, that he was as a surprise. So yeah, not sure what his strategy there was. Bold strategy, it didn't work out for him, but it's teleported. He's in the pits, the garage area, but looks like not sure what's going on here. Looks like
Oh,
it may have been a blip in the iRacing service here.
yeah, I'm seeing the same thing on my. Oh, I guess I'm seeing what you're seeing. So.
Yeah. Looks like we're back now. Drew Wooten still in the lead. Not sure exactly what happened. Maybe just a slight server error, slight server blip on iRacing. But we resume. Nothing changed, I believe. Still Drew Wooten, Matt Grimm fighting for the lead here. I think the same running order that we have seen. But yeah, just a little bloop.
Matt Grimm's kind of walking him back down. I don't, sure this is a little strategy by Drew to try to make him use his stuff up, but gotta applaud Matt Grimm. He's came a long way in this season. The first race he came, I mean, he was riding in the back somewhere, and I think he got wrecked a couple times. So huge improvements by Matt Grimm, the Green Reaper tonight.
Yeah, we've seen him tear it up on the dirt side of things in the sprint car series, but yeah, I mean, definitely a huge improvement week after week here from Matt Grimm, now fighting for a podium position with our championship leaders. So, I mean, I think just some more experience in these cars for him. It's we've seen his progression week to week here. I think just the more he's in them and able to get comfortable with them, the better he's going to be. It'll be exciting if we have him out again next season.
Absolutely, it's much.
Take a look back here at P3. It looks like Mike McConville did get into the wall at some point. See, looks like he touches the wall again there. But see that right front just caved in a little bit there. Likely causing him to be really tight, and it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about hitting the wall. Yeah, I mean, you hit the wall and you knock that toe in a little bit too far, and then next thing you know, you're in the wall again. It just progressively gets worse and worse throughout the race. Makes the tire wear funky, and the car won't steer anymore. So definitely not what you want to do, especially early in the race, is tap the wall.
Yeah, he is able to drive back up to the top two here, catch them up. It looks like they're just 3 in a row right here, kind of just trying to save their stuff. That's what it looks like. None of them really pushing too hard, looking for positions. Take a look back. Braden Campbell kind of in a world of his own right now in P4. Davis Warren, similar story here. Travis Ellington has dropped to the rear. Nick Owen able to get by him. But these bottom, 4 drivers just kind of running their race here. Not really too much action for them at the moment.
As we see, this is tightening up here.
Yeah, I think Mike wants to make a move here.
Yeah, this is a little wild. Drew Wooten needs to be careful. Especially these dirt guys, they get too tired of sitting behind you, they might move you. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know Drew's playing the long game here. Only about a quarter of the way through this race, so definitely wants to make his stuff last. But yeah, like you said, these dirt guys, sometimes they don't wait around too long. So let's see. It looks like another issue here. Let me see what's going on. Try to go back to the driving side. Here we are. All back, all good. Not sure again what's going on with iRacing tonight. Guess I've got that Cole Martin netcode halo around the internet right now. So it seems like it just wants to keep dropping. I don't know. This is definitely strange scenes here in Stafford. Trying to get back on board here with our top 3. Just kind
fans still seem interested. They're all on their feet.
Yeah, fans are ready for the race here, but guess the PC is just not having it tonight. Now we start to see Drew Wooten getting a little bit further out there in front of these 2 chasing him. To say that though, Matt Grimm able to make a really good run down the backstretch in 3 and 4 to close back up the rear bumper.
Yeah, this is getting wild. Hard for me to watch on this end. It's looking like it's trying to clear up for us.
Oh, when we say that, and it's we've gone back to looking at the grandstands. This is very strange sights. I think in my entire iRacing career, I don't think I've ever had this happen to where it's cut out so many times in a short period of time here.
Definitely interesting. Oh, it cleared up for me, if nothing else.
Still seeing some internet issues here, but
All right, well.
well, this is a great time to I guess we'll shout out our race sponsor here, Maconi Setup Shop. If you are if you're oh here we're back. But I was gonna say if you are
Oh, there we go.
interested in purchasing any of their open sets for any of the iRacing official service or series, especially on the oval side, feel free to check out Maconi Setup Shop. They've got some fast sets. They're obviously trusted by people. They currently sponsor and are the title sponsor for the actual official iRacing truck series. The C-Fixed, as most people call it. The fixed sets come from Maconi. So heard lots of great things about Maconi over the years. And we thank you for sponsoring our bug-filled race with interesting internet. So this is
Yeah, the lap counter's not keeping up either. I have no idea.
See if we can get a refresh on that. See if maybe that'll at least update. It looks like these top three are still fighting. Mike McConville was going to make a move, but all I saw were nuts and bolts flying across the screen there as we're back. We're blind again here. I think the ticker's trying to come back online as well. So we see what looks to be a lot of carnage, but it's not.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Top three still in line, trying to get the ticker back online. And we are back. We're back to nothing. Looks like even iRacing, even the fans in the stands are running out of beer. They're upset. Well, we briefly see Mike McConville was able to make the pass on Matt Grimm and chasing down our leader, Drew Wooten here.
At Matthew Stafford Speedway.
That's right. Up here in Stafford Speedway, Connecticut. Oh, we got the ticker back here. Lap 40. Okay, maybe start to see some
There we
improvements here
go.
on
Look
the
at that. Oh,
inside.
I don't know if
see,
it's a glitch, but Drew Wooten's got a little right front damage now.
I'm seeing that as well. May have got. It looks like he's got a little bit of rear end there. So I don't know if maybe due to the outage, we may have been correct about Matt Grimm getting a little impatient behind Drew Wooten. It looked like he had a little bit of rear end. Rear end was pushed in a little bit too. So
Yes, it definitely does. Oh, it popped back out.
Oh, guess it was just visual on iRacing side. Even Mike McConville seemed to pop back out. Maybe just a little bit of netcode that was showing damage, but there was no damage.
iRacing's acting like it's the end of the day on Friday right now.
I know. iRacing taking an early weekend is what it seems like, but these two are really going at it here as we're approaching halfway through this race.
Yeah, this is surprising. I'm really shocked that Drew Wooten hasn't just kind of left the field as he normally does. You know, normally by now he starts to put his little gap on the field, but hasn't done it quite yet.
Yeah, Mike McConville keeping him honest. Matt Grimm back there in P3. Davis Warren and Nick Gowen slowly starting to find their way through this smaller field, but
Yeah, they're gaining time as well.
they're gaining a lot of time. Braden Campbell now back in 6th. Travis Ellington back in 7th. But take a look here at Davis and Nick. Nick trying to see if he can make a move here on Davis, it looks like, but they're pretty much running even times to the leader right now. I don't know if Davis has quite saved enough just based on lap times. See as he comes by this time. Looks like his lap was half a tenth slower than Drew, so not quite able to make up any time that time by. Nick a little bit, you know, further off, just being behind and in the dirty air of Davis, but I think slowly but surely they'll be able to make up some of this time.
Yeah, definitely. Normally you would think to see it a little bit after halfway, but maybe they're trying to go a little early. Not real sure. I know that Davis Warren had cut into the 4-second gap, but he's back down to 5 seconds again.
Yeah, maybe during the brief outage we had, maybe there was some battling up here for the lead, and that was able
Oh
to bring
my, the 69 car right on the back bumper.
He's going to look to make the move now. Drew Wooten closes it off, though, says, no way, Jose. It is Drew Wooten's lead still. Mike McConville has to settle for P2 for right now. I think we see him make another run at this thing before these guys think about pit stops or whatever. That's the question now, though. Now you have 50 laps on the tires. Do you sacrifice the extra time for, I mean, we don't know the fuel situation as Mike McConville almost gets into the back of Drew Wooten, but not sure on the fuel situation, but pending, you know, how much that is going to take up. Do you gamble just right sides, or do you take lefts? Not lefts. Do you take all four? Because looks like these guys are running quicker than they were a couple laps ago. Now starting to really stretch out that lead over the rest of the field. So I don't know if they're just pushing right now to really use all the tire they can and then come in for a quick stop, or kind of what the strategy is here.
Yeah, see, I don't really know. I don't know how the car feels as far as it pushing or whatever. I would say that probably taking no tires would be your best bet, just because I don't think you're going to be able to make up the time if somebody doesn't take tires. Because, I mean, if you take tires, you're looking at least 2 laps down. So I just don't know.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. I think that if it's going to be tricky on fuel, then it's definitely in the cards for an interesting battle here at the end, especially as we've seen multiple times this season. Getting on the pit road and getting off clean is not always the easiest task in these cars and at these tracks. Pit road's always a little bit funky, kind of a weird entry, super early entry a lot of the times. So we've seen Drew Wooten get caught speeding, some pit road problems before, so could make things interesting here as we cross over the halfway point of this race.
Yeah, I'm just really interested to see if we're going to pit at all. I mean, they might have enough fuel.
These two still in a battle here for the lead, just a couple tenths between them. Mike McConville trying to make a run here at our championship leader. Take a look back. Matt Grimm set it in the third, but Nick Gowen able to make the move around Davis Warren. Looks like Nick is absolutely sending it right now. Davis not going to fight too hard. Going to take that higher line there. Give Nick some space. Davis going to look to make the move to the inside, though. Goes all the way down to the apron.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Not quite going to happen. Nick able to carry that minimum speed there through the corner. Rotate the car a lot better than Davis there, but Nick now got his sights set immediately on Matt Grimm, who we saw up front at the beginning of this race.
Yeah, and I think if he can get around Matt Grimm, this is going to be a huge win for Nicholas Goen because it's going to be free sailing in front of him, clean air, and nobody to pass. So nobody's slowing him down as he makes the pass here in the P3. Nicholas Goen.
Now Nick is about 6.5 seconds back, so a lot of time to make up in 40 laps, but you'd have to imagine that Drew and Mike had to be pushing their tires a little bit, especially with when Matt Grimm was up there in the mix chasing him. You now see how the shape his tires are in, only about 20-25 laps after being up in the front three battling for the lead. So gotta imagine that Drew and Mike's tires are just as worn out, if not more. And Matt Grimm's maybe just not showing it yet, just trying to give it everything they got, hoping that they can keep the gap.
I'm thinking the lead is getting pretty. Looks like 69 may have messed up somewhere because he lost a 10th. He had to have been to the inside of our leader because he was only like a 10th and a half back.
Yeah, definitely probably look to make another move, but Drew Wooten playing really good defense so far here on that top spot.
Yeah, starting to see a little bit of weakness out of the 69 here. I think he might have pushed a little bit too hard. It's starting to wash up the track quite a bit there. Into the wall coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, it's looking like he used a little bit too much too early. Showed his cards too early here for Drew Wooten. Drew able to kind of stretch that gap up. Now the gap's almost at a half a second. Just a handful of laps ago, Mike was looking for the lead. Now he finds himself about half a second back on lap 65. But Nick Gowen looks like he is trying to bring that gap down. Definitely making up some time here on Mike McConville, running about equal to, actually last time a little bit faster than what Drew Wooten ran by about half a tenth. But he's going to need a lot more than that to catch up with the amount of laps we have left.
Yeah, definitely going to be hard. I mean, you got to definitely pick up the pace here, especially. It's one thing to get to him, it's another thing to pass. So, it's going to be a hard battle for Nick. I don't see him getting up there unless something happens to Drew and he just all of a sudden gets super tight. But Nicholas Goen definitely not chipping away at the lead quite fast enough.
Yeah, it looks like the gap to Drew still at 6.7. He is starting to reel in Mike McConville corner by corner for that P2, so it would be a great first race back for Nick to grab P2. Still a first race right back. Great race back to grab P3, especially with the complications between him and Philip York on the opening lap that forced Nick to lose about 3.5 seconds right off the rip. So
yeah, it makes you wonder what what it could have been if maybe that didn't take place.
Yeah, if Nick was able to stay closer to the group of cars on the lead lap, I mean not the lead lap, but the group of cars there in front of him, I mean, could have made up a couple positions early on, wouldn't have had to fight through some of these guys throughout the race. It looks like Braden Campbell now able to get around Matt Grimm into the pits now. He's going to gamble. We'll see kind of what strategy he takes in terms of fuel, tires. Kind of hard to time this out, see what he takes, but you have to imagine he's got to take at least right sides here at this point.
Yeah, so that makes me wonder now. I mean, if he's taking tires, is he getting fuel because he needs it, or is he just trying to maybe see if he can put tires on it and catch back up? I mean, as you see, he's already a lap down and he's just in front of the leader, so looks about like a lap and a half to put right sides on it.
Yeah, definitely an interesting call. We'll kind of see what lap times Matt Grimm is able to run on that fresh set. I will say that hasn't really been too much fall off here so far. We see him get around Travis Ellington, but not too much fall off. I mean, Drew Wooten, our leader, his best lap time was a 19.8. He's currently running 19.94, so only about a tenth and a half of fall off. Even 74, 75 laps in. Matt Grimm, though, with his best time of the session with a 19.62, actually puts him at the best lap for anyone in the session, as he is just, I mean, he's really just got to go and do everything he can, drive the car as hard as he can at this point. He's got a whole lap to make up. We assume that the leaders aren't going to pit, so he's got a lot of work ahead of him if he wants to even just get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, absolutely. And we only got about, we'll say about 8 minutes and 20 seconds till this race is over if it goes green. So lots of catching up to do for Matt Grimm. Not really going to happen. So I'm going to see what Nicholas Goen has kind of fell off too. Lost about almost a second to the leaders. Doesn't look like he's going to even be able to catch P2 spot with Mike there in the number 69. Looking like this race is pretty much getting settled unless something crazy were to happen here.
Yeah, it seems like he's been able to maintain the gap to Mike, but he's just lost more and more ground on the leader, Drew Wooten, over the past few laps. So I think the win is going to be out of the question, pending this stays green, but anything can happen here. So, I think just needs to stay in it and hope for a miracle yellow or something, and try to catch Drew out on, maybe Drew doesn't come in, Nick does, and takes some tires, and could be the difference. So we'll have to see how these last 22 laps play out. But so far, no surprise here. Drew Wooten just absolutely dominating this race, looking like Max Verstappen on a Sunday. Currently 1.3 seconds clear of the field. Mike McConville back there in P2 is his closest competitor, but that gap just continues to grow as the laps wind down. 1.3 heading into the corner, out of the corner, closer to 1.4, maybe looking almost at 1.5. So just able to really, Drew does a really good job of not burning up his tires on the entry of the corner without really having to sacrifice. Usually you can achieve that by backing up the corner a little bit more, and obviously you're taking a little bit less speed into it, so it's easier for your car to turn using less of your tire. But Drew's able to achieve that without really sacrificing too much on entry, and still able to get that great drive on exits. We now see the gap about 1.5 back to Mike McConville, 8 seconds back to Nick Goen. Has the rest of the field at least one lap down now.
He's making that car look like it is settled into the good of it. I mean, it does not look tight, doesn't look loose. It looks like it's doing exactly what he wants it to do, and that's the goal, especially with this many laps on the tires. I mean, he just wraps that bottom like it's nothing, which is freaking amazing with 83 laps on the tires.
Yeah, I mean, even Matt Grimm, who had pitted, after Matt Grimm pitted and took right side tires, I have to imagine his right sides were pretty worn at that point for him to come into the pits. But last time by, I mean, Drew Wooten, a 19.88, Matt Grimm, a 19.95, so still running faster than some of these, than Matt Grimm, who pitted just a handful of laps ago. So definitely a master here at managing his stuff. Seems like he's really, you expect these guys on fresh tires to be pretty quick, but Drew does a really good job as well of, like, he'll be fast just like everyone else at the beginning, be a little bit aggressive, but then he kind of settles into his groove. Maybe, depending on the track, that might be 3/10, 4/10, maybe even half a second off his, basically fastest pace. But it seems like as this race goes on, even when the tires are just depleting, he's able to get right back to that pace. That last lap he just ran was only 200ths off of his best lap in the session. And mind you, he's on 87 lap old tires. So definitely a master here at saving the tires, not only just saving them, but still being able to run hard on them and hard on the tires and run fast laps.
Yeah, something else he's really good at too is when somebody puts the pressure on him. He does not get pressurized. He doesn't do a lot of mirror driving. He just drives his line. He runs at his speed, and he makes them push the tires hard. And then eventually walks away from them, and that's such a talent to be able to do something like that. And he definitely knows how to control the race to whatever pace he wants to run.
He does. That he does. Nick going here. P3 currently. Him and Davis Warren are tied, so I don't know how the tiebreaker goes for our Buffalo Transformer Services Hard Charge Award. I would assume it would have to be the one who finishes higher in the race would is how the tie would be broken, but they're both currently 4 spots up. We talked about both of these guys at the beginning of the race and kind of after the drama in the opening few laps with Philip York. How these two were just going to settle in, save their stuff, and drive through the field, and they've pretty much done just that. Outside of two of the other drivers that were up front and 3.5 or so seconds away from them, which was going to be a tough gap to make up no matter what. But a good drive out of Nick Owen and Davis Warren so far. 9 laps to go here in the Maconi Setup Shop 100. 9 laps away from Greasecar glory for Drew Wooten. Now 8 laps as a race win here. I'm not sure, maybe the heat race already did it, but a race win here would solidify him as the champion. That's all I'll say for now. We'll save the rest for 8 laps later.
Laps ticking down fast. He's actually caught Matt Grimm, which is just wild. I'm sure that's got to be frustrating for Matt Grimm. I don't know if the dirt guys know. I know he does run some asphalt stuff, but sometimes if you don't change all 4 tires or even the amount of fuel you put in it can definitely change the balance of that car. So if you only put a couple gallons in, doesn't change the left sides, that can make the car loose, tight. I mean, it can do all sorts of different things. So that might have hurt him more than it did good for him.
Yeah, I think temporarily it did. With him running the fastest lap, I think it temporarily helped him, but it's like putting a band-aid on a broken arm or something. It's not really going to do a whole lot long term. So, by the way, Drew Wooten, even behind Matt Grimm here in the dirty air, he's running his fastest laps of the session. Last time by with a 19.76. So he is, I mean, again, 95 lap old tires, 96 lap old tires, and he's still able to just keep going faster here. Oh, looks like gets a little loose out of the corner, trying to get him around Matt Grimm here, put him 2 laps down to be able to do just that. Matt Grimm, pretty respectable driver, gonna let him through. Just 3 laps away for Drew Wooten. Absolute domination from him tonight. I think the outage may have helped him a little bit, I must say. It was really tight battle there during the outage, and then we come back and he started to stretch away his lead away from Mike McConville after that, and he's never looked back since.
Absolutely, as he dives off into turn 3 in the middle of 3 and 4, coming off of turn 4, 1 lap away for Drew Wooten to win the 2024 A season championship. Sorry, I should say lock it up, because we still have one more race next week for our season finale.
This will lock it up here tonight. Drew Wooten gonna be your 2024 A Greasecar TK Racing Diecast Late Model Tour season winner.
And I mean, so deserving. I mean, that's his 7th win of the season, so that's pretty wild, being that we only have 12 races or so in this season. That's over half the races. I mean, you can't ask for much better results than that. I mean, that's in racing. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty much pure domination from Drew Wooten this season. I feel like the races he's lost is ones he's either been taken out in a wreck that maybe wasn't his fault, or one that he took himself out, right? Kind of, whether that's a wreck or whether that's mentally. So I mean, pretty much it's been his to lose all season, but finally solidifies his spot in Greasecar history. As we see Nicholas Gowen burning it down, I think maybe in celebration of Drew winning, as we saw Drew immediately hop out of the car, go party with the pit crew, and everyone else in the garage here at Stafford. But yeah, I think that's our race for tonight. Let's take a look here at the results. I know we've seen them on the screen and everything, but Drew Wooten, again, our winner and season champion for the 2024 A season of Greasecar. Mike McConville, great run for him tonight, going to come home in P2. Nick Owen, first race back after a few weeks, going to come home in P3. Davis Warren, league owner, in P4. Twisted T, Travis Ellington, going to come home in P5. Matt Grimm, the Grim Reaper, in P6. Braden Campbell in P7. And Philip York in P8. Before we start bringing up these guys, I will say that the car you see there on the screen, Nicholas Gowen, going to take home the Buffalo Transformer Services Hard Charger Award tonight. Started this race back in 7th after, I believe, some interesting moves there by Philip York on lap number 1, getting into Nick Gowen a little bit, but able to drive it up from 7th to 3rd. It's tied with Davis Warren, but I believe the tiebreaker will go to Nick since he did finish higher. So Nicholas Gowen, our Buffalo Transformer Services Hard Charger Award winner tonight.
Absolutely, and I think our next big points battle that we're going to have to look for the finale is between Davis Warren and Travis Ellington in 2nd and 3rd. They were only 15 points apart going into this race, and I imagine it's not going to be too much of a difference going into the last race. So that will be our next watch of the points here as Drew Wooten locked it up tonight.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's time to get some of these drivers up. I'll go ahead and pull up P3, Nick Gowen. Yo, Nick, this is Nathan and Logan in the booth. You got a copy?
Sir, I do.
Nick, man, we were just talking about how there was an interesting move made by Philip York there on the first lap. It looks like he got into the back of you and then immediately went sailing through the infield trying to jump the grandstands. But because of that, it looked like you were kind of forced to settle into what we've seen from you multiple weeks. If something happens on the opening lap or the opening few laps where you just kind of settle in, run your own race, save what you can, and try to make a charge at the end. Was that kind of the strategy you were going with tonight?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could have held my position in the heat to help myself out a little bit, but I think I was just like I could get just putting myself in a place to where I could just stay on the bottom or like guarantee myself a place on the bottom and just kind of run my race. And just see what my overall pace would get me. I mean, I don't know. I've been gone for a few weeks, so I'm not sharp like the rest of some of these guys in here. So I mean, I don't know. I've been away for a while, but happy to be back.
Absolutely, Nick. We're glad to see you back. Man, it was very uneventful for us here in the broadcast booth. Half the race didn't even get recorded. So.
Yeah, we're having some internet issues.
So we had racing, but yeah, you come home P3. I'm not sure how many top 3s that gives you this year, but that's you've had a lot of them. I mean, do you think maybe next season, if you're able to run a full season, do you think you got another shot to win this championship coming up?
I think so. I mean, Drew's going to be hard to beat, but I mean, he's not perfect. He hasn't had a perfect season, so I think if I'm able to get a full season in and actually have time to learn some of these tracks and just try to get into a rhythm, I mean, I can definitely put myself up there. I think before I left, I was 2nd in points anyway, so just to fall back down to 6th in the standings isn't great, but I don't know. It's just given the circumstances, I'm happy to be where I'm at, and I mean, of course, I think next season I'll try to give it another shot, but we'll see. We don't know what newcomers we'll have, who's going to be returning, and what have you. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, Nick, like we said, a strong run. Podium for you tonight. You're standing on that P3 pedestal, spraying somebody with champagne, I'm sure. But anybody you'd like to thank for his performance?
Yeah, thank you guys for the for doing the broadcast, and thank you to my friend Miller Lite for giving me the fuel to run this race, and um, thanks to Davis, the the league owner, for putting this on, and I guess we got one more shot at getting another W next week at North Wilkesboro, and going to give it my best shot.
All right, Nick. Well, we will send you back down to your team, and hope to be talking to you again next week.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
That is P3, Nikki G. Let's go ahead and bring up another winner, Mike McConville. Mike, this is Nathan and Logan in the booth. You got a copy.
Hey boys, how we doing tonight?
Mike, doing
great, man.
fantastic. We saw you there in the middle of the race. Unfortunately, I did have a little bit of internet issues. So for a while there, while you were tailing Drew Wooten, your cars were every car on the track was jumping all around and disappearing and doing some Houdini magic tricks. But we did catch up there towards the end of that battle you had with Drew. Talk to me a little bit about, you know, kind of what that looked like from your perspective. Was it just, if I get this position, then I can start to kind of relax, notice that driving pretty hard to just stay with them. Talk me through kind of your strategy while racing so close to Drew for the lead.
I knew it was going to come down to whoever saved the right front the most, and probably around lap 50, it was ingrained in my head that I had to get past him or I wasn't going to get by him because I felt my right front was just dying. I had a few shots at Drew, but man, he is a hell of a driver, and just knowing that I put up a 70 lap fight against the caliber of driver he is made me feel real good. I'll take P2 tonight because man, he put on a clinic.
That he did. Not sure if you knew, but I think Nathan, with about 13 laps to go, he ran his fastest lap of the race, was just absolutely incredible.
Madness.
Yeah. Something else we talked about is how well he's able to control the lead and make everybody run at his pace. Do you think if maybe you were to get in front of him around lap 50, do you think you could have held him off?
Maybe not the whole time because I had to run pretty hard. I was to get around the 91, which I knew took some damage on the right front on the tire, just having to push a little bit harder. But I think if I could have got in front of Drew the one time I got a nose on him, I think it would have been a pretty good fight. Cause it'd have been a pretty good fight for him to get back around me. I'm the Ryan Newman kind of guy.
There you go.
Absolutely love it. Love it. Well, Mike, obviously a great run. I mean, I think you did an excellent job to, like you said, keep Drew at an arm's length for as long as you could. With one more race left to go in the season, I think you got what it takes to get one more win before we close out the 2024 season.
Next race is North Wilkesboro, and it'd be pretty special to get this TCR 69 back in victory lane one more time to end the season, and we're gonna put in some laps and some practice and see if we can get it done.
Absolutely, man. Well, is there anybody out there tonight that you'd like to thank for tonight's performance?
First off, I want to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. Always fun watching it. Want to thank Davis putting on the league. I know the car counts haven't been there these last few weeks, but we're working behind the scenes, working on that. We're going to come back next season real strong. Thank everyone back at the home base for TCR, always giving me a rocket ship. And man, just want to thank myself for being a semi-decent, competent driver sometimes.
There you go, man.
There you go. All right, Mike. Well, great talking with you again. Hopefully we'll talk to you again next week up here in the booth at North Wilkesboro for the last race of the season, but we will go ahead and send you back down to your team. Have a good one, man.
You as well. Hopefully we'll be +1 next week.
There you go.
Yes. That is P2 Mike McConville, but Logan, it is time to bring up our winner here, Drew Wooten. Drew, this is Nathan and Logan in the booth. You got a copy, sir.
Yeah, man.
Drew.
Well, guys, we have a new champion.
I was about to say you take home win number 7, but more importantly, you do secure the TK Racing Diecast Late Model Tour 2024 season championship tonight here at Stafford, man. How you feeling?
I feel good, man. That one didn't come easy. There was a couple of guys that could have roughed me up right there early on in the race, and they raced me clean. So I've had a stretch of bad luck the past few weeks, but it's part of racing. Some of it wasn't racing. A lot of it was just stupidity. But it's racing, man. That's part of it. But yeah, it feels good to run the whole season and get this up under my belt. Um, I've had a lot of fun along the way. Raced with a lot of good guys, and yeah, man, just enjoyed it. Try to soak it all up.
Absolutely, man. Well, we definitely brought up that you ran your fastest lap of the race with 13 laps to go, which is just outstanding. We were still trying to figure out how you can hold a guy off in P2, maintain your composure, run the race at your pace, and still put out fast lap times at the end of the race. That's very, very impressive. Something that neither of us can do. Nathan, I'm gonna speak for you because I know you can't. I know I can't.
Absolutely
I know
not.
most people can't. But I wanted to ask you what was the after the heat race? I saw a little scuffle between you and the 97. I didn't. I wanted to hear the tea on
I
that.
I don't know, man. He's one of those guys. Instead of turning laps and trying to get better, it's just one of them things. And I'm as humble as they come, but he's not going to outdrive me, and he's just not consistent enough. So those two things have nothing to do with me and everything to do with him, which he doesn't see. So he takes the easy way out. He's took me out like 3 or 4 times this season. But he's been around. When I first got on iRacing, um, I think he had been on. He might have beat me a couple of times, and then yeah, that was the last of that, and probably will be the last of it. But like I say, you'll have that as part of racing. That's one reason I come back and race every week. It's for guys like that, so that I reassure them. Um, you know, do what you want to do. I'm still going to do me. I'm still going to be a smooth, consistent driver, and most of the time, whoop your ass when you race me that way. So,
Mm,
um, uh,
be a father figure.
just,
I hear
just,
you.
just, I mean, you guys saw it in the heat race. Um, I just outsmarted him. He didn't like it. He come up, gave me a little rev, whatever that was supposed to mean, and cut across my nose. That's all I know.
Well, Drew, not to
It
not to
is what it
detract,
is.
right, not to detract too much from your championship night here in Stafford. The floor is now yours to thank anybody, give your championship speech here tonight for winning the season.
It's been special. It's if I had 50 or 60 grand to go out here and buy a late model stock, I probably wouldn't be on here right now. I'd be in the shop working on it. I've raced a lot of things in real life, but that's one thing I hadn't got a shot at. Maybe one of these days, hopefully it's never too late, but I get that joy out of this. Um, and the good thing is I don't have to pay for anything when I tear it up. so so
Exactly.
that's always good. But you guys have done a great job in the booth all year. Davis has made it interesting, and I know there's a couple other guys that kind of help him. I want to give a shout out to them. Um, it's it's been awesome. I enjoy racing, all types of racing. When it comes to asphalt, and yeah, I like to go in circles, so that's what I do. I try to be the best I can be, no matter if there's 3 cars in the field or 30 cars in the field. I try to make every lap count. I drive every lap like it's the last one. Try to be smarter than the next guy, and it's paid off this season. And it's just I got a lot of people that helped me get to this point, whether it be in real life or whether it be on the sim. At one point in time, 2017, when I got on here, um, I I had no clue what I was doing. I knew racing. I knew um, kind of the technique, I guess, of racing and what the ultimate goal was, which was winning. But I knew that it was a process, you know. So I took small steps. I never tried to drive beyond my means, and slowly over time, you know, I became more competitive, and it didn't take me long to start winning races. And but I got a lot of people to thank. It's not just because of me. Um, I I try to be smooth. I try to be consistent. You know, most of the time, in the higher strength field races that I've ran, you know, a lot of times I'm not the fastest car. I'm just the most consistent, and it looks like that I'm just flying, but it just boils down to being smart, taking care of your car, taking care of your tires, and you're looking at the big picture. So I told you guys before. I'll tell you again. You know, my role model in short track racing is Bubba Pollard. So I try to drive like him. Try to use my head. Be smarter than the next guy. If you can do that, you know the rest of it takes care of itself.
Well, Drew,
Absolutely, man.
a huge congratulations again from us in the booth and everyone at home watching for not only the win tonight. I mean, you swept almost everything you could tonight, but you swept almost everything you could for the season as well, for the most part. So, a huge congratulations to you for winning the championship here for the 2024 A season. We still have one more race next week, so we hope to see you back up here in the booth again for next week's race. But I think with that, we will send you back down to your team, man. Hope you have a great night.
Th- Thank you, man. Yeah. One more thing. Like I said, I I was I wasn't trying to hurt feelings tonight, but I had a chip on my shoulder. You guys have seen past couple weeks. You know, goes back to Jacob. You know, kind of ruining things for a lot of people in this league. And like I said, it is what it is. But I had a chip on my shoulder. Um, Came out. You know, I was determined to try and win everything I could win. That's what I done. And yeah, thank you guys so much for everything you do. Thank you for the congratulations. It means a lot. And hopefully see y'all next week and maybe next season. We'll see.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that'd be great.
See you guys.
All
Have
right,
a good night, man.
later on, Drew. And that is championship winner, race winner, heat winner, pole award winner, Drew Wooten. Logan, I think he locked up almost every award we have season wise. The only one I'm not sure on is the Buffalo Transformer Services
He
Hard
did
Charger
get
Award.
one. I
I
remember
know we
getting.
got
He got one.
one. Yeah, I know we got one, but in terms of the season, I think there's a couple other people that have had multiple as has gone on.
Well,
But
you have to start in the rear to get that. So
this is true. This is true, and I mean, like I said, I think he has the most pole awards for the Castle Motors Quick Time Award. The most heat wins and definitely the most race feature wins. So I mean, it's been the Drew Wooten show every Wednesday pretty much for this season. So again, huge congrats to Drew for the race win, the championship win, and a great season thus far. We've still got one more race left at North Wilkesboro next week. Logan, anything else we wanted to say here about the race tonight? I know we kind of talked about it was not too much going on, but didn't know if you had any other insights.
yeah, I'm definitely excited for next week. Not only for North Wilkesboro, we're gonna wrap up a season. We're gonna start a brand new one and have a clean slate. Hopefully, some new drivers here, and we're gonna beef this pack up a little bit and roll on with it again.
Absolutely. Well, I think that is going to do it for tonight. Thank you all for watching. Sorry about the slight delay in a couple of the laps there towards the beginning of the race, but I'm glad we were able to get the internet back on track so that we could see Drew Wooten close out the championship tonight here at Stafford. Also like to thank our sponsors here, Castle Motors, Kicking the Tires, Panzer Performance, and Buffalo Transformer Services for being on board with us all season, as well as TK Racing Diecast for being our title sponsor. And I think he sponsored a couple of races as well. So a thank you to all those guys. Really, we couldn't do it without you. Put on this league, and thank you for helping us and believing in us to help us grow as we look forward to the 2024 B season. If you haven't already, you like what you see, you like racing, seeing cars go fast, flip through the air, whatever it is, be sure to subscribe to Grease Vision here on YouTube. Also, any of the videos that you watch, even if you watch them, months later, watch the stream back. If you like what you're seeing, please leave a like on it. Even comments, any sort of engagement definitely helps us out, helps us to grow as a channel and as a league. But I think that's all I got. Logan, anything else?
No, sir. I think we're good for the night.
All right.